Hello, everyone. In today's lecture, I'm going to give you a few tips for interview body language. When we speak something, it is our body and its gesture that help in conveying the message effectively and easily. Sometimes we don't utter even a single word, and yet we are able to communicate a lot. It's because our body parts, especially our facial expressions, combined with various other gestures, speak a language of their own, which we call body language. Our body responds to various emotions like sadness, happiness, excitement, anger, repentance, love, and whatnot. Here in this lecture, I'm focusing only on the tips for body language that are required during the time of interview. I don't consider myself that I know very much about body language, but still, I feel confident that my experience in this field can help my learners a lot. After poring through many books written by experts and putting to practice their advice and tips, I have decided to give this small lecture, yes, based on my experience. I'm sharing certain inputs which I practically experimented with my own students that are required during the time of interview. I'm sure this lecture will help you a lot. And if you have any queries, always you can share your suggestions that are very much welcome. So, to begin with, when we talk about communication, which is essential in every aspect of our living, body language is also an important part of communication, which can constitute 50% or more what we are communicating. If you wish to communicate well, then it makes sense to understand how you can and cannot use your body language to say what you mean. Body language comes in clusters of signals and postures, right? When we say this, that is, it's completely dependent on the internal emotions and mental stress. Uh, Looking into the current economic conditions, opportunities to secure a new job are becoming very much difficult. So, having a great resume and pertinent past experience is very much important, but that is not enough. You are just one of several other candidates who meet the specific requirements for that position. So you need to gain an advantage by executing the perfect job interview. Now, here I have given uh, mentioned some of the most essential skills you need to perform to complete the ideal job interview. The first one, which I have mentioned here, is appearance. Making a good first impression is very crucial because with such a small window of opportunity, every moment counts. So you have to start by making sure that you are well groomed. It's very important that your hair is cut, your that is very much appropriately it is styled for a business setting. Yes. So even your fingernails must be cleaned and it must be trimmed or polished. Your clothes should be properly tailored, right? So these are all some of the common things which we all very much know. But on top of everything, only that what we practice can execute at the time of the need. The second thing which I have mentioned is about your posture. Good posture always reflects many positive attributes and make you look taller. See, Generally, in the business world, the taller people usually have an advantage. This is what many of the studies had shown. It will make you appear more confident, right? A confident look always portrays your intelligence and likability. So your posture is very much important. You have to stand in front of a mirror, place your back up against a wall, and make sure your shoulders, butt, and heels are touching the wall, right? So before you start, you can look at the mirror. This is how you look with great posture. Practice this daily until it becomes the second nature. Practice alone will help you a lot. Anything that you wanted to do for the first time on the day of interview sometimes will land you in disappointments. Smile. Smiles are contagious, right? When you smile, you are judged to be more sincere, sociable, competent. So here, smile must also be very genuine. Most people can easily identify a fake smile because it does not create the same positive emotions, right? So, good examples of a fake smile can usually be found in your family photo albums. And nowadays, we go for selfies, right? Genuine smiles, it show throughout your entire face. So, practice holding a sheet of paper just under your eyes as you look into a mirror. This, that is, the paper should cover both your nose and mouth. Now smile. Continue working on your smile until you can identify by only looking at your eyes that you are indeed smiling. Models and actors do this all the time. It's a skill you can easily improve, right? The next one is your eye contact. Good eye contact is very much essential, but you can overdo it. Constantly peering or staring into someone's eyes will begin to make them feel uncomfortable. So you need to create a balance. Practice striving to maintain eye contact about 80% of the time. Yes, to look away slightly. When you answer the questions to one another, rotate your eyes around the person's face instead of staring at one point. Move your look around from eye to eye and the mouth of the interviewer. This is known as business or social eye rotation, right? Mirroring. What do you mean by mirroring? Have you ever met a stranger at a party or social gathering and immediately had an instant rapport? Seems like you have been friends for years. Sometimes this is due to common interest, but a bigger influence is that both of you will use similar body positions and gestures. So, mirroring your interviewer can create the same bond and help give you an advantage. As your interview progresses, simply you begin to move your body to reflect the same position as your interviewer. Be careful not to move immediately or too obviously. Yes. Take your time. Move a different part of your body, one posture at a time, until you come to a reflective position. The most important skill, which I have mentioned at the last, is know yourself. This seems to be pretty obvious, but people make mistakes all the time because they haven't taken the time to become familiar with their own resume. Your interviewer will have already looked over your resume and will use it to formulate questions. Please understand this. Being caught off guard with a question about your past work experience does not look good. It can hurt your confidence and may give the impression that the information you are providing is false. So make sure you review all the information on your resume and have a good understanding of the image you want to present. Anticipate what are the questions can be gleaned from your past record and get your answers ready on hand. Yes, because why I stress here is you are being evaluated right from the beginning. Everybody that is you speak with, either on a phone or in person, may have an input on whether you would be a good choice for that position. So never assume someone doesn't have an input or isn't important. Okay. The next one is what are the do's and don'ts of a body language? Before you walk into the interview, it's assumed that you will have done some of the following preparations. Reading about the company, right? This I have explained in my earlier video about interview tips. Yes, practicing what you have to say if someone asks you something. What are the most commonly, frequently asked question? What to wear for the interview? Yes. So when someone is going to hire you, they expect a lot more from you. They can spot a possible candidate for a job within 30 seconds or less. So your body language is very, very, very essential. How to give a proper handshake confidently, how to avoid a dead fish handshake. Yes, how to grasp your interviewer's hand and make eye contact while saying hello. Everything is very much important. See, here I have mentioned a very few do's and don'ts, which are highly important to look at it. So you need to sit up straight and lean slightly forward. When I mean this, in our, you should not project yourself by showing your interest and sitting at the edge of the chair, right? You have to align your body's position to that of the interviewer's admiration, agreement, engaging yourself in the interaction. How you show your enthusiasm by keeping an interested expression means a lot. You have to nod with by making a positive gestures in moderation to avoid looking like a bobblehead. Establish a comfortable amount of personal space between you and the interviewer. It's very important. Yes, you should not make the interviewer feel uncomfortable and take the focus away from your conversation. That's very important. So make a proper eye contact. Maintain a proper eye contact because if you have more than one person interviewing you at once, make sure you briefly address both people with your gaze and return your attention to the person who has asked you a question. These are all very much important. Interruptions can also happen. If they do, refrain from staring at your interviewer while they address their immediate business. You should show your willingness to leave if they need privacy, right? So stand up and smile even if you are on phone interview. They are all very important. And you have to limit your cologne and perfumes because high odor perfumes will irritate. The interviewers, they never prefer that. And even saying a goodbye is also very important. You have to do it in a very graceful manner. After a few well thought out questions and answers with an interviewer, if it's almost over, yes, make sure your goodbye handshake is just as confident now as it was going in. Keep that going while you walk through the office building into the elevator or onto the street, safe into your car, cab, everything measurable safe distance from the scene of your interview. Okay, so these are all some of the most important do's which you have to follow. Some of the don'ts. If you are rocking back in your chair, shaking your foot, drumming your fingers, or scratching your something, anything, you are going to look like you are going to look the type of future employee who wouldn't be able to stay focused, if even for a few minutes. Okay, so it's a job interview. Here, you have to be very careful of what to do and what not to do. Sit with your arm folded across your chest. Even if you really do just have a cramp in your neck, your gestures make you look disinterested. Do not touch or rub your nose. Yes, sit with your arms folded across your chest means what? You will appear unfriendly and disengaged if you sit like that. Sitting cross-legged or idly shake one over the other. It's something distracting and shows how uncomfortable you are. You should not lean your body towards the door because you will appear ready to make a mad dash for the door, right? And do not slouch back in your seat. I've shown few pictures at the end of my slide for all this. Example, how the body postures should be, right body posture and wrong body postures. A couple of pictures I have shown at the end of the slide. If you slouch back, this will make you appear disinterested and unprepared. Yes, and also don't stare at them blankly. This is a look people naturally adapt when they are trying to distance themselves, right? You have to position your head, be cautious of your mouth movements. They are all very, very, very important. When I mean this, why I have mentioned here body language sins. See, under pressure, our bodies leak. It's quite natural. And I don't just mean perspiration. The leak information about our true feelings. So pretend all you like that you are having a wonderful time, like how we enjoy some parties or some other functions. Like that, a lot of time we are unaware of the signals our bodies are sending others. So we are not, we have to be very careful how we behave, particularly during the time of interview. So all whatever that I mean right now, whatever I mention as a skill to be practiced, genuinely it should be practiced right from your learning period onwards. Here I have mentioned the first sin is melting into the payment. When it says about you, if you don't think much of yourself, chances are you slink your way through life, keeping a very low profile. People with low self esteem, they try to blend with the payment. They slump their shoulders, they bow their heads, they generally make themselves look as small as possible. Looking at the floor, what does it mean? Sometimes we avoid looking at people. That is what in the do's I to mention proper eye contact. You try to avoid connecting with people. The real reason is you are gazing downward is probably because you are shy. So what other people will think about you, you are not interested in them or anything that they are saying. If you can't even be bothered raising your eyes to fake interest, what hope have they got about you? You are arrogant. They may feel like that. Or nervous and slightly dodgy. So we need to try to avoid that. Fiddling with your collar or scratching your neck. What it says about you. If you are constantly scratching your neck or pulling your collar away from it, you might be, what can I say? You might hang around. That is, you are very much nervous as like hell. Both gestures are signs of doubt and uncertainty. Okay. So people, they normally pull their clothes away from their necks when they are in hot spot. Or if you are feeling exposed or caught out, you start sweating. So all such things we would have experienced at times. It's uncomfortable to have cloths rub against it, so we pull them away. Propping up your face with your hand. What it says about you, putting your hand on the side of your face and leaning on it sends three clear messages. What are they? I'm so bored and tired. I'm feeling faintly superior. I don't like my face much. I'm hiding half of it. So we have to overcome, we have to, through practice, we have to develop the confidence level, letting it all hang out. What it says. The only thing worse than being tense, rigid, and uptight is being so relaxed that you are practically in a sprawled in front of the telepose. So imagine that you are about to have uh, some amazing experience. What will happen? Yes, how do you overcome that? All such things you have to undergo through practice, turning away from the person you fancy. If we really like someone, maybe a friend or a prospective lover, or someone we are already sharing the sheets and remote control with, we give them full body attention and do a complete 100% body pivot to face with a close proximity. But our body language reflects our mood. We will have, we will make a half-hearted turn in other person's direction, but remain pointing elsewhere with our legs, arms, eyes, chin, etc. Yes. So feel intimidated. Whatever the consequence be, try to overcome in a very confident manner. Leaning away from someone we like. What does it say about you? Our posture reflects how much we like the person we are with. We lean towards people we like and lean away from people we don't. This is even more pronounced if we are sitting. You can watch between two close friends. Yes, how inside the classroom or somewhere outside, how they sit together. They talk lots, they smile lots, because this is how you naturally behave towards people you like. But now deliberately lean back from them, keeping everything else constant. See how they talk less, start to look uncomfortable. Ask if you are okay, if they are boring you. See, here at this point, you have to confess that it's a body language experiment, not a power play. So, these are all some of the common body language sins where we have to, through practice, you have to overcome it, you have to improve. Now, the previous slide I had mentioned about the sins. Now, ways to improve your body language: don't cross your arms or legs. You have probably heard you shouldn't cross your arms as it might make you seem defensive or guarded. This goes for your legs too. Nowadays, I find even in the classes, generally students, they sit cross-legged. They are more comfortable with it. They are trained, used. Such type of attitude, it starts right from the childhood days onwards. Earlier, we never sit cross-legged in front of elderly people. But now, kids are completely different. So this goes, if you if you sit cross-legged and if you keep your arms and legs open, it means that you are very defensive. So you have keep a proper eye contact, but don't stare. The do's and don'ts of body language, I had explained about it. There may be several people in the interview. So you have to give them all some eye contact to create a better connection and see if they are listening to you. Keeping up of too much of eye contact might creep people out. Okay. So if you are not used to keeping eye contact, it might feel a little hard or scary in the beginning. But keep working on it and you will get used to it. Only when you are confident enough with the information, you can uh, confidently face people through their eyes. So, this you have to practice, you have to develop. Don't be afraid to take up some space. This also I had already mentioned. Taking up space by, for example, sitting or standing with your legs apart, a big signal, self-confidence that you are not comfortable in your own skin. Relax your shoulders. When you feel tense, it easily winds up and tensions in your shoulders. So they might move up and forward a bit. Try to relax. Try to loosen up by shaking the shoulders a bit and move them back slightly. Nod when they are talking. Very important. Even in the classes, we find that children, they never ever nod whether they understood what we teach or not. The same if you practice at the time of interview, what will happen? Nod once in a while to signal that you are listening, but don't overdo it. And right? Don't slouch, sit up straight, but in a relaxed way. Yes, not in too tensed manner. Lean, but not too much. If you want to show that you are interested in what someone is saying, lean forward, the person talking. If you want to show that you are confident in yourself and relaxed, lean back a bit. But don't lean in too much or you might seem needy and desperate for some approval. Smile and laugh. Lighten up. Don't take yourself too seriously. Relax a bit, smile, laugh. When someone says something funny, people will be a lot more inclined to listen to you if you seem to be a positive person. But don't be the first to laugh at your own jokes. It makes you seem nervous and needy. Smile when you are introduced to someone, but don't keep a smile plastered on your face. You will seem insincere. Don't touch your face. It might make you seem nervous and can be distracting for the listeners or the people in the conversation. Keep a good attitude. Very, very important. Why I had mentioned that as the last, this is not the least one. Keeping a positive, open, and relaxed attitude is very important. How you feel will come through in your body language and can make a major difference. Yes. When the two of you get a connection, you will start to mirror each other unconsciously. So, to make the connection better, you can try a bit of proactive mirroring. This is what is very important. Having a good attitude, using your hands more confidently. See some of the pictures which are essential to practice and not to practice. Yes. Instead of fidgeting with your hands and scratching your face, use them to communicate what you are trying to say. Use your hands to describe something or add weight to your point you are trying to make. But don't use them too much or it might become distracting. Yes. So realize that many people might um, be watching you, how you sit, how you walk, uh, how you practice space among people. Yes. So everything will be completely monitored by the people. So we have to create a very good impression. It's not just what you say, but how you say it, how you convey the message. That creates an overall impression of your suitability. Yes. So, how to prepare yourself for the interview? What are the essentialities? Everything that I have already spoken in one of my previous lecture on interview techniques. So, this will add some more weightage that how to correct yourself with your body language. Yes, and how to that is how to harness your interview nerves. They are all very much important because body language also communicate a lot more. Be an active listener. That is very much essential. Yes, we have to show that we are listening to someone else. So it's perfectly natural and healthy to be nervous ahead of an interview. But this nervous energy, when properly harnessed, will enable you to present yourself with energy, passion, and conviction. Right? So, what I would like to state here is you have to control your nerves in a positive way. If you are too calm immediately before an interview, then you may be underestimating the challenge. And alternately, you may be suppressing your own nervousness. Neither scenario will help you to make an effective case for selecting you. So it takes energy to stay calm, energy to speak in a lively and interesting way, and energy to pay attention to the needs and requests of the interviewer. Since you only have a finite amount of energy available, learning to control your nerves is important as it lets you focus all your efforts on interacting with the interviewer in a very effective way. Meet you with another lecture video based on some more tips for how to prepare yourself for the interview. If you like the lecture, please do comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you.